The Young and the Restless spoilers update for Tuesday, February 11, reveals that Summer Newman will face some temptation while Kyle Abbott gets put on the spot. Diane Jenkins Abbott will also make a surprise move, so there will be some important developments happening all over GC. At the Abbott mansion, Harrison Abbott will express just how much he's looking forward to his family night with Summer and Kyle. It'll bring back some Halloween memories for Harrison, who'll hint that maybe Kyle and Summer could share another hug. On the other hand, Kyle might tell himself it's just a friendly embrace and hope he can be that comfortable with Summer as co-parents. Whether there's a hug or not, Summer could be tempted to want what she no longer has. Spending time with Kyle and Harrison like this will remind Summer of what it was like when they were a united family. Summer's going to want Kyle back soon, so this may be when old feelings start bubbling up. However, there could be someone who comes along and gets in the way of the exes reconnecting. Diane will make an unexpected move on Tuesday's I and R episode, so she might interrupt an offer to help with Harrison's project herself. It could be Diane's way of shutting things down if Summer and Kyle look too close for comfort. That said, it's also possible Diane's surprising move will involve her Abbott mansion refresh. Diane might ambush Jack Abbott with a bunch of plans and leave him overwhelmed. Over with Victor Newman, he'll defend his desire to see Kyle and Summer as a romantic item again. Nick Newman won't be a fan of it, but Victor will think it'd be good for them to put their family with Harrison back together, since that would free Claire and allow her to avoid Abbott-related heartache. Victor will be all for that as well. Nevertheless, Victor will have to deal with more drama once Victoria Newman pushes him to let Claire live her own life. At Nate Hastings' apartment, it looks like Damian Kane will suspect a con once he hears the half-brother revelation. Although Damian will think Nate is exploiting vulnerable Amy Lewis when she's sick, Amy will insist she's the one who set all this in motion. Our Y and R predictions point to Damian refusing to have a relationship with Nate after Amy's paternity shocker, and he may have a hard time reconnecting with Amy too after finding out he's been lied to his whole life. Fortunately, the Young and the Restless spoilers say Nate won't give up on helping Amy and Damian mend fences before it's too late. To stay tuned for updates on more family-related news. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Pulse Canvas. It's me, Julie, here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching, so let's dive into today's video. The Young and the Restless spoilers for the next 2 weeks, February 10 to February 21, reveal that Sally Spectra may make a big confession while Claire Newman's bliss ends up at risk. Lily Winters will also sound the alarm, so let's talk about what Y and R fans can expect. During the week of February 10 to 14, Victor Newman will want to skip dinner with Claire and Kyle Abbott to avoid showing support for their relationship. It won't matter anyway since Kyle will bail on the meal, so he can work with Summer Newman on a school project for Harrison Abbott. Victor will think it's the prime example of how Summer's always going to come before Claire, so he'll want Claire to dump Kyle before she gets hurt. Despite Claire's determination to win Victor over, she may eventually start to worry that he's right about Summer and Kyle's forever bond. As for Summer, she'll feel pulled in Kyle's direction after they spend the evening with Harrison. It'll inevitably make Summer wonder, what if, as she considers what a full-fledged family reunion might look like. Diane Jenkins Abbott might try to block Summer's attempt to reconnect with Kyle since he's so happy with Claire these days. However, this is only the beginning of Summer and Victor rocking the boat in Kyle's current romance. Since Diane also pitched the idea of an Abbott mansion refresh, she'll move forward with her plans. Will Jack Abbott balk once he sees what Diane has in mind, or decide maybe she was right about the house needing updates? Other Y and R spoilers say Sharon Newman will prove to be a nosy neighbor when she stops by Chelsea Lawson and Adam Newman's place with a gift. Chelsea will realize Sharon wants to know if she's back together with Adam, so she'll definitely let it be known that they're strictly co-parenting under the same roof. Next, Nate Hastings will help Amy Lewis spill her story to Damian Kane, but he'll blow his top over all the revelations. Although Nate will still want to help Amy and Damian fix their broken relationship, Lily will sound the alarm, and so will Devin Winters. Both Lily and Devin will have some concerns about Damian and the trouble he could cause in Nate's world. At some point, Holden Novak will get a blast from the past. There's a female acquaintance in town that Holden will catch up with, so could it be Lily and set up her next love story? That's one option to consider, though it's also possible that Holden will finally remember an old link to Audra Charles. It might be a situation where it eventually clicks, and Holden recognizes Audra from her time in the art world. While Daniel Gromolati Jr. decides if he's fully on board with Billy Abbott's pitch, Billy will be busy whining and dining Sally in Paris. As Sally and Billy grow closer, it could lead to Sally confessing something significant. Although Sally tried to convince Chloe Mitchell that she could live without Billy, she may admit she doesn't want to. Sally might open up to Billy about how she's perhaps falling harder for him than she anticipated. Despite Sally's efforts to keep things casual, her relationship with Billy may turn more serious on this trip. Even so, Phyllis Summers won't be able to get Billy out of her head, so look for her to fantasize about a romantic dance together for Valentine's Day. Sharon Newman will also get swept up in a Nick Newman fantasy, so some fun scenes are on the way. The week of February 17 to 21 may bring some genuine Nick and Sharon bonding. But where is all this going? Is Sharon doomed to stay in the friend zone with Nick permanently, or could they actually get another chance at love? Summer will no doubt struggle to get Kyle off her mind as well, so that could lead to some jealousy and romantic sabotage. Claire and Kyle's relationship could take some hits once Summer officially decides she wants a reunion. The Young and the Restless spoilers say the next 2 weeks will bring some stunning news and sneaky strategies, so we'll bring you more predictions on all the Geno City mayhem. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Sharon Newman just wrapped up an intense storyline that involved Ian Ward tormenting her with Jordan's help. Now Sharon needs to heal from all the psychological trauma and find a way to move on. Nick Newman was obviously a huge help to Sharon during her ordeal, and even now, he continues to be a strong source of support. It's clear that Nick cares about Sharon and always will, but that doesn't necessarily mean this friendship will turn to love again. Nick honestly hasn't given any indication that he's leaning back in a romantic direction. I and our fans should keep open minds about what the future might hold for Sharon's love life. Nick could easily end up being paired with someone else, which would leave Sharon single for another love interest of her own. Could Sharon and Chance Chancellor get another opportunity at a relationship? It's a possibility to consider since I and our spoilers point to Summer Newman chasing after Kyle again before long. Summer's jealousy over Kyle and Claire Newman's connection will lead to her pursuing her ex again, so Chance may have no choice but to let go. At some point, maybe Sharon and Chance could collide for another hot hookup. Sharon might realize that things are going to stay platonic with Nick, and Chance may determine that he's always been a rebound for Summer. Perhaps Sharon and Chance could fall back into bed together as a result. Chance and Sharon could surrender to some mutual comfort and a familiar attraction. Chance once admitted he could see himself falling in love with Sharon, but she wasn't looking for anything serious at the time. Although Sharon struggled to see a future with Chance, a lot has changed since then. After everything Sharon's been through, she might be more open to embracing possibilities and enjoying everything life has to offer. Sharon might realize she was too quick to push Chance away and reconsider when it comes to a new chapter with him. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Sharon will undergo some romantic updates eventually, so stick with us for more predictions on whether Chance might get good news. It's where you want to be for the hottest Young and the Restless spoilers, predictions, news, and updates. so drop by regularly. The Young and the Restless Spoilers update for Monday, February 10, reveals that Kyle Abbott, Summer Newman, and Harrison Abbott will have dessert together at the coffee house, where Harrison will recruit his parents for help with a shoebox diorama for school. Summer will pipe up that she could come over for dinner tonight and work on it, but she'll realize from Kyle's expression that he might have had other plans. However, Kyle will give the green light and privately explain to Summer that he wasn't keen on attending dinner with Victor Newman anyway. Kyle will explain that Claire Newman is trying to get Victor to accept him, so Summer will seem surprised that their relationship has developed to that point. When Kyle mentions Claire being the most incredible person he's ever been with, Summer will offer a wow in response and act a little miffed. Kyle will assure Summer that she's amazing too and try to smooth things over. At the Newman Ranch, Victor won't like Claire's dinner idea, since it'd mean he was condoning her relationship with Kyle. Victor will end up ranting about Kyle turning on his family, and then crawling back to them because he couldn't make it on his own. After Kyle calls with updates on his school project time with Harrison and Summer, Claire will tell Victor that he's off the hook for now. Victor will worry about Kyle being a heartbreaker and will make a prediction about Summer always coming first for him. Claire won't see it that way, but there'll still be some tension when Summer arrives to visit Victor as he recovers. Later, Claire will seem exasperated after trying to get through to Victor, so she'll ask Victoria how to win a fight against her grandfather. Back with Summer on Monday's I&R episode, Victor will drop hints about Harrison's parents needing to have a strong bond. Victor will also mention Chelsea Lawson moving in with Adam Newman, though he won't expect Summer to move back in the Abbott house. That said, it'll be obvious that Victor is trying to give Summer a nudge back in Kyle's direction. When Nick Newman shows up and hears Victor's efforts, he'll grill his dad about whether he's trying to push Kyle and Summer together again. At the Abbott mansion, Harrison will look forward to hanging out with Summer and Kyle, since it'll be like old times when it was always just the three of them. Although Harrison will worry Kyle and Summer are only pretending to get along, Kyle will assure his son that they're genuinely on good terms now. Meanwhile, Chelsea will confess to eating all Adam's jalapeno lime chips when he assumes Connor Newman is responsible. After Adam and Chelsea joke around, Sharon Newman will arrive with a housewarming gift, though she'll question if she should have brought 2 quilted throws or just the one. Chelsea will realize Sharon's fishing to find out if she's reunited with Adam romantically, so she'll insist they're just living under the same roof because of Connor. Once Sharon opens up about being on the right meds and going to therapy, she'll credit her family for standing by her through all the Ian Ward and Jordan chaos, especially Nick. After Adam listens to Sharon speak so highly about her ex, he'll talk to Chelsea about it and suspect Sharon's feelings for Nick might have returned. The Young and the Restless Spoilers say Sharon will remain drawn to Nick in the coming episodes, so stay tuned for more news on what's ahead for these former flames. We'll have other great Young and the Restless Spoilers, predictions, updates, and news to check out, so drop by often for the latest Y&R details. The Young and the Restless scoop for the week of February 10 reveals more than one reunion may in the works on the most romantic day of the year. Also coming up, Lily Winters and Devin Winters will issue a warning to Nate Hastings. Plus, Amy Lewis will drop a bombshell on Damian Kane, and Billy Abbott and Sally Spectra will enjoy Paris together. Y&R spoilers tease Sally and Billy will explore the most romantic city in the world. These two have become closer over the past couple of months. So will the city of love inspire the couple to fall in love with each other? Y&R weekly scoop. Damian thinks he's pulling a fast one on her. Meanwhile, Damian will get the wrong impression when his mother tells him Nate is his half-brother. He'll think that Nate is pulling a fast one on Amy. However, she'll say that she's the one who found Nate. But will Damian believe her? Speaking of Nate, his cousins will be wary of Damian, especially when he tells them he had been meeting with an imposter. Both Devin and Lily will warn Nate to proceed with caution, and they'll wonder if his half-brother can even be trusted. Other Y and R spoilers tease Holden Novak will run into someone from his past. Plus, Summer Newman will snub Sharon Newman, and Victor Newman will try to defend his actions. Finally, spoilers for Valentine's Day indicate love will be in the air. Not only will past relationships be revisited, new romances will also be explored. But who will be struck by Cupid's arrow? Young and the Restless scoop. Chelsea says they are not a couple. Viewers know Chelsea Lawson just moved in with Adam Newman, although she's made it more than clear to anyone who asks that they're not a couple. However, could that change on the romantic holiday? Of course, Sharon and Nick Newman have also become much closer during the past few months. Nick was there for his ex during one of the most horrific times in her life. So could Chick be heading towards a reunion on Valentine's Day? Stay tuned. The Young and the Restless spoilers update for Monday, February 10, reveals that Kyle Abbott, Summer Newman, and Harrison Abbott will have dessert together at the coffee house, where Harrison will recruit his parents for help with a shoebox diorama for school. Summer will pipe up that she could come over for dinner tonight and work on it, but she'll realize from Kyle's expression that he might have had other plans. However, Kyle will give the green light and privately explain to Summer that he wasn't keen on attending dinner with Victor Newman anyway. Kyle will explain that Claire Newman is trying to get Victor to accept him, so Summer will seem surprised that their relationship has developed to that point. When Kyle mentions Claire being the most incredible person he's ever been with, Summer will offer a wow in response and act a little miffed. Kyle will assure Summer that she's amazing too and try to smooth things over. At the Newman Ranch, Victor won't like Claire's dinner idea since it'd mean he was condoning her relationship with Kyle. Victor will end up ranting about Kyle turning on his family and then crawling back to them because he couldn't make it on his own. After Kyle calls with updates on his school project time with Harrison and Summer, Claire will tell Victor that he's off the hook for now. Victor will worry about Kyle being a heartbreaker and will make a prediction about Summer always coming first for him. Claire won't see it that way, but there'll still be some tension when Summer arrives to visit Victor as he recovers. Later, Claire will seem exasperated after trying to get through to Victor, so she'll ask Victoria how to win a fight against her grandfather. Back with Summer on Monday's I and R episode, Victor will drop hints about Harrison's parents needing to have a strong bond. Victor will also mention Chelsea Lawson moving in with Adam Newman, though he won't expect Summer to move back in the Abbott house. That said, it'll be obvious that Victor is trying to give Summer a nudge back in Kyle's direction. When Nick Newman shows up and hears Victor's efforts, he'll grill his dad about whether he's trying to push Kyle and Summer together again. At the Abbott mansion, Harrison will look forward to hanging out with Summer and Kyle, since it'll be like old times when it was always just the three of them. Although Harrison will worry Kyle and Summer are only pretending to get along, Kyle will assure his son that they're genuinely on good terms now. Meanwhile, Chelsea will confess to eating all Adam's jalapeno lime chips when he assumes Connor Newman is responsible. After Adam and Chelsea joke around, Sharon Newman will arrive with a housewarming gift, though she'll question if she should have brought 2 quilted throws or just the one. Chelsea will realize Sharon's fishing to find out if she's reunited with Adam romantically, so she'll insist they're just living under the same roof because of Connor. Once Sharon opens up about being on the right meds and going to therapy, she'll credit her family for standing by her through all the Ian Ward and Jordan chaos, especially Nick. After Adam listens to Sharon speak so highly about her ex, he'll talk to Chelsea about it and suspect Sharon's feelings for Nick might have returned. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Sharon will remain drawn to Nick in the coming episodes, so stay tuned for more news on what's ahead for these former flames. The Young and the Restless spoilers document that Claire Newman is finally putting her horrid history behind her. The woman who her great-deceased aunt Jordan Howard named needed permanent closure and got it during a fierce battle that involved the Newman family. Devoted viewers recall that Jordan died at her hand. She downed tea that Claire poisoned. While Erin's character stopped Jordan from initially sipping the hemlock refresher, she and her family did nothing later. Victor Newman's arrival at the tack house and the direction of Jordan's last act ensured her demise. The moustache followed by taking a bullet for Nicky Newman, again proving that he'd die for his loved ones. Jordan Howard isn't resting in peace. Count the number of daytime hands in the air who believe Jordan is chatting up Catherine Chancellor John Abbott and other Genoa City, Wisconsin legends somewhere inside the pearly gates. No rational mind or even the most generous soul would choose to believe that an unrepentant sinner and criminal like Jordan would be in a better place. When Zenk's character slipped into unconsciousness, a ground floor destination ticket was punched. And it's understood that today's travel involves using nearly all digital experiences. The ticket reference was a wink to all longtime fans who recall Zenk's glory days as Barbara Ryan on As the World Turns. Newer viewers might not have known about her tremendous career work, but they now know how great this actor is and, hopefully, see her rewarded with a future Daytime Emmy for her stints on My and R. Claire Newman seeks love and stability. Claire never had love while living under Jordan's command, who stole her at birth from Victoria Newman and Cole Howard. Fans recall that Jordan brainwashed Claire into believing that her parents abandoned her and that the Newman family was replete with heartless louts. But a breakthrough came at the cabin Jordan and Claire lured everyone to during Zenk's debut on the show a year and a half ago. Claire was stunned to learn that she'd been stolen, not abandoned, which changed everything. Claire's realization of who Jordan is won't be comparable to what she realizes about Victor. If he gets his way, Victor will engineer Claire's split from Kyle Abbott. Kyle Abbott is Jack Abbott's son. The subject header gets to the heart of this soapy matter. Victor has deeply entrenched feelings about Billy Abbott's unwanted role in Victoria's life and doesn't want to allow Claire to make the same Abbott family mistake. How Victor attempts to manipulate the end of Claire's burgeoning relationship with Kyle remains to be seen, but it's not outlandish to believe that the head of the Newman clan will accomplish his task. However, Claire is well aware of her grandfather's Abbott-related outlook and will likely be mindful of Victor's role in an attempted bullixing of her love match with Kyle. How she responds and then reacts will become part of this developing story. This site is a leading source for everything linked to The Young and the Restless. Check back regularly for My and R spoilers and news. The Young and the Restless spoilers for the week of February 10, 2025 are here. Next week, fans can expect Holden to run into an old friend. Elsewhere, Divin Hamilton Winters and Lily Winters warn Nate Hastings about Damian King. Plus, Sharon Newman and Chelsea Lawson have an awkward encounter. Keep reading to find out what is coming up in the CBS soap opera. Holden's surprising acquaintance. During the week of February 10, fans can expect Holden to remain in Genoa City while Damian deals with Nate and Amy Lewis. It seems that Damian isn't the only connection that Holden has in town. It's not clear who Holden runs into, but we do know it's an old acquaintance. Then, by the end of the week, there will be surprising romantic reunions. So, it sounds like Holden might reconnect with a lover. Holden already met Audra Charles, so it's not her. Of course, it's also possible that Damian is the one who has a romantic reunion. Divin Hamilton's warning. Now that truths are coming out, Damian will have a confrontation with Nate. Damian assumes that Nate is running a con on Amy. However, Amy tells her son that she sought Nate out. When Nate tries to find common ground with Damian, things just get worse. Later, Lily and Devin will learn about Damian. Sharon Newman and Chelsea Lawson reconnect. Next week, Sharon ends up running into Chelsea and Adam Newman. Just like many people, Sharon gets the wrong idea about Chelsea and Adam living together with Connor Newman. Chelsea sets the record straight, and Sharon could also get the chance to clear the air regarding her recent drama. Phyllis Summers' boundaries. Speaking of Sharon on The Young and the Restless, she gets iced out by Summer Newman. Meanwhile, Phyllis Summers lays down boundaries. It is also stated that Daniel Rumalotti Jr. has a difficult decision to make. Fans can also expect Diane Jenkins Abbott to take control. Victor Newman successfully undermines Kyle Abbott. Elsewhere, Victoria Newman opens up to Nick Newman about her fears. It seems Victoria is scared about her father dying. While Victor did have a close call, Nick will assure his sister that Victor isn't going anywhere anytime soon. Which storyline are you looking forward to seeing the most? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Remember to keep watching the soap on CBS or Paramount Plus to find out what is coming up next. The Young and the Restless spoilers and updates reveal Phyllis Summers will share a magical dance with Billy Abbott, creating a moment that feels like a dream. However, the harsh truth is poised to shatter this lonely ex's fantasy. The week of February 10, Billy and Sally Spectra will be together in romantic Paris, making memories together. Sally's tried to convince herself that she and Billy aren't serious. Sally has been trying to downplay the seriousness of her romance, but this trip might just change everything. As Sally and Billy embark on their journey together, their connection is bound to deepen, potentially leading them toward a lasting relationship. Meanwhile, Phyllis has made her disapproval of Sally clear, insisting that she's not the right fit for Billy. It's becoming more evident that Phyllis harbors feelings for him and longs to be the one at his side. Get ready for an exciting Valentine's Day episode of Y&R on February 14, featuring some steamy fantasies. Phyllis will have a vivid dream, or perhaps a sexy fantasy. Phyllis is on the verge of experiencing a vivid dream where Billy sweeps her off her feet rather than Sally. It's entirely possible that she lets her imagination run wild, picturing Billy as the quintessential partner she's been yearning for. One can easily envision her lost in thought at the bar, trying to forget her troubles as she drifts into a world of dreams. Alternatively, she might simply doze off and find herself in an enchanting dreamscape. Whichever way it unfolds, it seems we're in for a captivating fantasy segment, featuring Phyllis dancing gracefully with Billy completely entranced by his gaze. We can't help but question whether Phyllis genuinely desires Billy back, or if she's simply grappling with feelings of loneliness. It's been ages since she had someone to hold close, both emotionally and physically, which might mean it's time for her to dive back into the dating scene. Meanwhile, Billy appears fully committed to his pursuit of Sally, leaving Phyllis in a potentially rude awakening when she faces the truth. The harsh reality could hit hard. Billy is now with Sally, and Phyllis might just be out of luck. It seems unlikely that Phyllis will win back Billy's affection anytime soon. Perhaps the best course for her would be to seek out a fresh romance instead. Claire is donning her battle gear to square off with her grandfather on Young and Restless, but it turns out he may be the least of her concerns when it comes to saving her relationship with Kyle. There's a looming obstacle that simply may be too formidable to overcome, and it's not even on her radar. This week's Young and Restless preview teases Claire appealing to Victoria for help. As viewers well know, the newest member of the Newman family is getting her first taste of her grandfather's penchant for meddling in the romantic affairs of his children and grandchildren, as Victor has declared his opposition to her romance with Kyle. Victoria, despite her extensive experience in this area, doesn't have clear-cut answers given she and Cole just wrestled with the same issue recently. Cole, of course, was able to win Victor over by proving his mettle, not backing down, and allowing his former father-in-law to embrace the idea of their reunion on his own timetable. Claire, having witnessed this miracle, and with some encouragement from her grandmother Nikki, now thinks she merely has to persuade Victor to see that Kyle is good for her and all will be coming up roses. While that may be a possibility, there's another looming obstacle that she's totally unaware of, and one that may play right into Victor's hands. This obstacle we're speaking of is one that Claire won't see coming. Why? Because this particular impediment to her romance with Kyle absolutely adores her. Unfortunately for the former nanny, Harrison loves the idea of his parents getting back together even more than he does his dad's new girlfriend. The weekly preview told Soap's readers all they needed to know when it teased Harrison telling his parents he loved their family time together and hoped they might hug again like they did on Halloween. The writing is on the wall here. Harrison's desire for his mom and dad to be together is going to prove to be a far bigger problem for Claire than even Victor. It goes without saying, if Victor gets wind of his great-grandson's wishes, he'll be more than happy to help him set a parent trap. After all, the mustache just welcomed Chelsea, of all people, back into the fold. This tells us that he believes couples should be together for the sake of their children, even if one of them framed the other for murder. If this is Victor's outlook, you can be sure he'll set aside his ideas about Newman steering clear of Abbott's to push Summer back toward Kyle, thereby killing two birds with one stone. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Kyle Abbott may have a 5-word response to Summer Newman's reunion pitch when the time comes. Summer is about to catch feelings again, or perhaps realize those feelings never truly went away in the first place. Victor Newman views Claire Newman as naive and someone who must be protected. In Victor's eyes, Claire is like a little baby Newman bird who doesn't know how to fly on her own. Summer, on the other hand, grew up a Newman and has learned a thing or two from her grandpa. Victor feels like Summer knows how to handle herself no matter the situation, so that may be partly why he's okay with Summer and Kyle's relationship. Of course, Victor is also a big believer in families coming together. I and our fans know Victor now supports Adam Newman's reunion with Chelsea Lawson and wants the restoration of Connor Newman's family unit. If Kyle and Summer get back together, then I'll put Harrison Abbott's family back together too. We can certainly see why Victor would get behind the idea considering his typical perspective. Unfortunately, Kyle may not feel the same way, even once Summer decides Victor has the right idea. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Summer will chase after Kyle and make it known how she feels sooner or later, but she may face some heartbreaking news. What happens if Summer pitches a reunion to Kyle and perhaps plants a sizzling kiss? Summer may hope it's enough to convince Kyle that they should kick off a new chapter, but he may shut her down hard. It's easy to imagine Kyle pulling away from any potential lip lock and making his stance crystal clear. Kyle may offer this 5-word response to Summer's reunion pitch: "We're never getting back together." Naturally, Kyle might make some updates to his way of thinking somewhere down the line if his feelings evolve. That said, Kyle's initial reaction to Summer's antics may be one of anger, so he may warn her that Claire's the only woman for him. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Summer will face some reunion struggles, so stick with us for more predictions on Kyle's upcoming moves. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal 3 must-see moments for the week of February 10, 2025. Fans can expect more curveballs with Damian King. Meanwhile, Holden reconnects with an old friend in Genoa City. Plus, Summer Newman ices out Sharon Newman. There is also Harrison Abbott's accidental parent trap. Keep reading, and let's talk about what is coming up next week in the CBS soap opera. Damian King's Rage. During the week of February 10, fans can expect Damian to angrily confront Nate Hastings. Damian assumes that Nate sold Amy Lewis on some kind of scam. At this point, Damian knows that his mother is dying, which enrages him even more. When Damian blasts Nate for taking advantage of a sick old woman, Amy corrects her son. Then Nate tries to defuse the situation but ends up making it worse. Note to Nate: never call Damian bro again. Holden's new connection. While Damien is dealing with family issues on Y&R, Holden sticks around for a bit in Genoa City. Toward the end of the week, expect Holden to meet up with an old acquaintance in town. Just who else is Holden connected to? Is this a family, friendship, work, or a romantic connection? How will it change his dynamic with Damien? Sharon Newman iced out. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that fans can also expect Sharon to continue putting on a brave face after her criminal issues were squashed. Sharon knows people have all kinds of thoughts and feelings when they see her. Sharon has to do it sometime, though. Sharon ends up bringing Adam Newman a housewarming gift. Sharon does talk to Chelsea Lawson, who is civil. Later, Sharon tries to interact with Summer, but gets the cold shoulder. Harrison Abbott's Parent Trap. Another must-see moment to look forward to next week features Harrison. It seems Harrison is accidentally playing Parent Trap. Harrison begs Kyle Abbott to have family night with Summer, despite already having plans with Claire Grace Newman. Then Harrison hopes that his parents hug again, just like on Halloween. Even though Claire is playing nice right now, it's only a matter of time before her claws come out. Claire is determined not to give up. With Victor Newman calling out his granddaughter for being stubborn, could she take drastic action to make sure SKYLE doesn't reunite? Which storyline are you looking forward to seeing the most during the week of February 10, 2025? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Remember to keep watching the soap on CBS or Paramount Plus to find out what is coming up next. Cole had always been a man burdened by the truths he dared not speak. Every day, as he returned home to the immaculate yet suffocating apartment he shared with Victoria, an unease settled deep within him, a constant reminder of the secrets he guarded. Their relationship, a perfect union on the surface, was built not on mutual love or tender affection, but rather on the shaky foundation of hidden pasts and half-truths. Victoria, with her intense, almost obsessive fixation on unearthing every buried secret in Cole's history, seemed less interested in his company than in the mysteries that clung to him like shadows. For Victoria, the past was an enigma to be solved. Her greatest fixation was the mystery of Claire, the young woman whose very existence had haunted her for years. Rumors and half-remembered stories spoke of a daughter lost to a cruel twist of fate, a girl kidnapped in the distant past whose identity had been shrouded in rumor and heartbreak. Victoria's life had become a relentless quest for the truth. Was Claire truly the child she had once lost? Did fate, in its ironic cruelty, reunite her with the daughter she never truly believed could return? Every whispered conversation, every furtive glance from Cole only deepened her obsession. Yet behind the veneer of her determination lay the painful knowledge that her connection with Cole was tethered more to the pursuit of this truth than to any genuine bond of love or compassion. Cole's burden. Cole, on the other hand, carried a secret that cut even deeper. For years, he had lived with Jordan and Claire, weaving himself into the fabric of their daily lives with a care that belied his inner torment. In that household, amid laughter and shared sorrows, he had witnessed the unspoken but profound connection between a mother and her child, one that he knew beyond any shadow of a doubt was not built on blood. The truth was a quiet, relentless pulse in his heart. Claire was not Victoria's long-lost daughter. Instead, she was the daughter of Jordan, a secret that had grown heavy with time and guilt. Every lie he had uttered to protect this secret, every evasive glance when Victoria broached the subject, added another layer to the wall of deceit between them. In the silent hours of many restless nights, Cole found himself at a crossroads. The more he evaded the truth, the more he felt he was losing, not just Victoria's trust, but a part of himself as well. He began to wonder, was the price of his silence worth the security of their fragile, constructed life? The burden of his deception had become unbearable. And in a moment of raw vulnerability, he resolved that he would risk everything. If by baring his soul he could finally reveal the truth to Victoria, even at the risk of losing her forever, then perhaps redemption lay within reach. The moment of truth. The turning point came on a cool autumn evening when the air was heavy with the promise of change. Victoria had been meticulously piecing together the fragments of her past, her mind a labyrinth of memories and what-ifs. That night, as she sat alone in the dim light of the study, she confronted Cole with the intensity of a woman determined to reclaim what was once hers. "Cole," she said, her voice trembling with a mix of determination and sorrow, "tell me everything I need to know. Is Claire really my daughter? Did fate bring her back to me?" Her eyes, dark with unspoken pain, searched his face for an answer that he knew would shatter the delicate illusion they had maintained. Cole's heart pounded as he realized the moment of truth had arrived. In that charged silence, he began to speak, his words tentative at first, then surging with the force of years of pent-up guilt and regret. "Victoria, there is something I have hidden from you for far too long," he admitted, his voice thick with emotion. "I was living with Jordan and Claire for years. I saw firsthand the bond they shared, and I witnessed truths you were never meant to know. Claire, the young woman you believe might be your lost daughter, is not biologically yours. She is Jordan's daughter. I kept this secret, hoping it might protect you, but it has only torn us apart from the inside." The room seemed to close in around them. Victoria's eyes widened, and for a moment, time itself appeared to stall as the weight of Cole's confession settled over her like a shroud. A torrent of emotions surged through her: betrayal, disbelief, heartbreak. Tears welled up unbidden as she grappled with the revelation that the daughter she had yearned for, the beacon of hope in her otherwise desolate life, was nothing more than a ghost of a past she could never reclaim. "No," she whispered, her voice choked with grief. "It can't be true. I spent all these years believing, hoping that Claire was my daughter. How could you hide something so important from me?" Cole's voice wavered. "I was afraid, Victoria. Afraid that the truth would destroy what little we have left. I thought that if I could shield you from the pain, maybe you'd forgive my lies someday. I never meant to hurt you. I love you in my own flawed way, but I couldn't let the secret remain hidden any longer." His confession, raw and unvarnished, hung in the air as a bitter reminder of the sacrifices made in the name of love and deceit. A choice born of love. In the aftermath of that shattering revelation, Victoria's world seemed to crumble. She wept uncontrollably, the sound of her sobs echoing in the empty spaces of their shared life. For a long, agonizing while, she refused to believe that the truth was indeed as Cole had spoken. Her mind raced through every memory, every moment of doubt, until the undeniable evidence of his words forced her to accept reality. Yet even in her overwhelming grief, Victoria was determined to control the narrative. With a steely resolve born of heartbreak, she commanded, "You must never speak of this truth again. It is too painful for me, and I cannot bear the thought of it being exposed to the world. Let it remain our secret." Her voice, though soft, carried an ironclad authority, a final attempt to reclaim some semblance of control over a life that had become unrecognizable. In that command lay a poignant irony. The very secret that had driven a wedge between them was now to be silenced forever, locked away in the recesses of a past that neither could ever fully escape. For Victoria, forbidding Cole from revealing the truth was not merely about preserving her own fragile heart. It was about protecting the memory of a daughter she believed she once had in shielding herself from the relentless cycle of hope and despair that the secret had wrought. A love that defied the truth. As the days turned into weeks and the weeks into months, the repercussions of that fateful confession rippled through every facet of their existence. Cole lived in a state of constant torment, haunted by the knowledge that his decision to risk everything in the pursuit of forgiveness had irrevocably altered the course of their lives. Victoria, for her part, was left to navigate the labyrinth of her shattered dreams, each step forward a painful reminder of the love that had been built on lies. Yet, in the quiet moments, when the world outside their door fell silent, Victoria would often stare into the distance, her eyes reflecting the tumult of emotions within. The secret that once offered a glimmer of hope had instead become a permanent scar, a reminder that some truths are too devastating to bear. And yet, even as she ordered Cole to keep the secret hidden, there lingered a part of her that wondered, what if the truth had been different? What if, against all odds, the daughter she had so desperately yearned for had truly been her own?